Yes, we are live now. Good evening, students. Um,
Good evening, students.
I hope you can see the live broadcast. If you have any issues while updating it, please ensure that you refresh the page so that all the updates can be seen at your end. A very good evening to all of you, and from Team SIP, a warm welcome to the concluding session of the Deeksharam, the student induction program. This session will be conducted by Firdaus ma'am and me. Firdaus ma'am, would you like to say
Yes, a
something?
very good evening to all of you. And it's so good, to see all of us together right from the first introductory session that Radhika ma'am started with you all to all the sessions that we've had offline, online, and the topics that we've moved right from self to nature to world. And today we are meeting all of us, you could say, in the online session scenario. So we are very happy to have all of you here. And we are looking forward to a healthy and fruitful interaction in the entire session with you all and lots of surprises here from us.
And this student induction program that we have initiated this year is also very special considering our college completes 75 years. I hope you know that, and the logo that you can see sort of reflects that. And to start a program in such an auspicious, such a nice year and a momentous year for our college is something that we all were incredibly proud of, and the team SIP has tried their level best to um, cater to, of course, what were the requirements that were provided by the AICTE, the NEP 2020, etc. But also to think and take into consideration what our students would like, what our students would need, and how do you understand this transitory period. So, of course, we know that we will improve it, we will work on it, and you students have been an important part of this SIP. Considering that each and every one of you has diligently attended the live sessions, asked us to send across the links for viewing them later, has filled in the forms with so much enthusiasm that it also encouraged us to work on the sessions that we had planned and try our level best to give you the best. So, on that note, the team SIP welcomes you to the concluding session of Deeksharam, the student induction program. And we also want to just broadly again give you an idea of what the Deeksharam was all about. And we hope that throughout these sessions, you'll learn something new about yourself. Like Firdaus ma'am said, a little bit about the people around you, the nature around you. And we hope that this learning and these observations are things that you carry throughout in your journey in college and even after that, right? So just to kind of take you back to what Deeksharam is basically, it's an attempt to bring together teaching and learning, and it's it's an initiation towards a holistic development, towards enlightenment, and to go on a path where maybe you get to learn about yourself, you get to understand new knowledge, new content, to learn about the peers around you, and to get into an understanding of where you stand and what your role is in the larger context of the world, right? So the Deeksharam is the student induction program, has been created keeping in mind these requirements of first year students. And we hope that through our combination of offline and online sessions, we have been able to at least achieve that to some extent. What do you think, Firdaus ma'am?
Yes, definitely. And I feel from the earlier session when you started off with your prior to student induction program, when you started with your first year journey, a transition from, you could say, your junior college to degree college with the, after the pandemic, when you all started with your college life, the things that you had in mind, how your degree college would be, how things would shape up and everything. Through these induction program, through these sessions, of course, you'll have got to know each other better, team bonding, interaction. Also, when we spoke on topics which generally we don't talk much about, when we take our own discipline as subjects, whether it's your art, commerce, science, you could say self-finance courses and all of these professional degree courses. We just only restrict ourselves to those syllabi. But here we're speaking, or you could say, to students of all the streams on something which is very common topic, something which is connected with ourselves, our own self, the way we deal with people in society. And that's very important, because end of the day, whatever careers, whatever things you choose, your relationship with yourself, with others, with family, with nature, with world, all of these are very very important. And I hope you'll have, I think, you'll must be seeing the changes in yourself. Even you were prior to the first session, and when we had the first orientation session by sir and ma'am. So the knowledge that you got there, what did you observe in those sessions, and how you took forward the learning lessons of that, and also the each and every session that we've had, what were the takeaways, and how have you adapted themselves in your life. I'm sure all of you all are experiencing some change in yourself. Once we I mean we till now, since we are to the concluding session. So we also, as Radhika ma'am said, we hope to have a feedback from you, and a constructive feedback, where both of us, the entire team SIP, would work on the feedback and make sure we give a better experience to the other coming batches. So that's true. Yes, Radhika.
And I also want to point out that this SIP journey, students don't forget, is not something that started with the introductory session. It started in that orientation session which Principal Sir conducted, which you attended with your parents, your elders, and guardians. And I still remember many of your faces, because during the admission process, we all get to sort of meet you, if not in person, at least, just to kind of interact with you briefly. And I remember these faces running about in the building trying to find the classroom. Ma'am, where is this admission going on? We need to go there. Some of you were with your parents. And now when we see you in campus, in class, that anxiety, that tension has sort of settled, right? We see you excited, we see you enthusiastic. We love it when the classrooms are overflowing with students, and very good attendance. So the kind of energy that you as first years bring to the college is something which is very infectious. It's something which also gives us a lot of motivation, and we want you all to keep this motivation and enthusiasm for studies, for cultural events, for co-curricular activities. We want you all to sustain that energy throughout your college life for all these activities that you get an opportunity to pursue in college. And of course, you had some of your seniors also who came in to talk to you all in the introductory session, and we hope that some of you all also participate when the time comes for your juniors to have such activities, and you give them that sense of comfort and that support, so that they also understand that college life has a lot in store for them, and they can pursue these activities without any kind of fear, without any kind of tension or anxiety, etc. So throughout this 1 month, I think it's been what, a month or so since your lectures began, we already see that change in you, whether you realize it or not. But we do see that bonding, we do see that friendship that has started budding in classes. We see that you're more confident of yourself, and we hope that from Principal Sir's orientation to today, and even post SIP reflection, we hope that you continue to keep that momentum going, and maintain. Why did we ask you to do that journal? Because we wanted you all to do some activity which gets you closer to your own self, your tendencies, likes and dislikes. And journaling, artwork, writing poetry, writing, participating in drama, in theater. There are so many art forms available that you can actually pursue. Not just art forms, but even pursuing sports. What all of these activities along with academics help you to understand yourself better. And like Firdaus ma'am said, they also set the tone for your future career growth and your potential, realizing your potential, so on and so forth. Okay. So on that note, again, we welcome you to the concluding session. What we have in store for you is a recap of all that we have covered. This is also especially true for students who were not able to at times join the live sessions. So it's important for you to attend all those sessions and the concluding session, so you get a sense of continuity, and accordingly you also get a chance to update your journal. And like Firdaus ma'am said, we also have a couple of things as surprises for you, and we are quite excited to start this session off. Just a second. So, students, did you know that while you're attending college, some of your teachers are also students of the same college who have walked the same corridors, sat in the same classrooms, also bunk lectures maybe, and have their own share of experiences, inside jokes, and a lot of memories from the college itself. So of course all of us teachers have those from our respective college, but we thought that why not maybe try and bring to you some faculty members who can share their experience with you, and maybe tell you what they went through when they were in college, and maybe give you some source of inspiration about where you can be when you graduate, you pursue further education, so on and so forth. Right? What do you think for those?
Yes, definitely. And for them also to see as their role models, they would imagine, okay, we were also in those chairs, seats, we're sitting. So for them also to serve as motivation and as role models, how they have transitioned, what role has college played in their growth, the participation in the different activities that they would be doing in college, the interaction with their peers, the different associations, the different departments that you all will be a part of it. Jain has a lot to offer to you in terms of activities, your holistic and the overall growth and development. And to hear from faculty, there's nothing the best feeling in the world that you are working in the college that you studied, your association with your alma mater. So who better than these faculties, as Radhika said, can describe and tell you the experiences.
And we all started off as students, right? We all start off as learners, and whether you realize it or not, but for all teachers consider themselves as lifelong learners, right? Because we love our subject, we love what we teach, we love what we learn from you students. I hope you remember that principal sir had also mentioned that we also learn a lot from you. So we thought that maybe your teachers who are Jai Hind alumni would be able to guide you better. And the very first faculty member whom we have over here is Rukaiya ma'am. I'll just add her to the stream. Some of you may recognize her, and for others, this is a teacher that you're meeting maybe for the first time. But keep a lookout for her in college, and I'm sure she would also like to meet you all. Just a second, Rukaiya ma'am, I'm just adding you to stream.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Hello, good evening, dear.
Good evening. Yeah.
Yes, Rukaiya ma'am, over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for having me over. And yes, as both the teachers have suggested, I was a member of Jai Hind College, a student of Jai Hind College, walked the same corridors, experienced the same things. So I do understand that as a student, it's very intimidating when you go from your junior college to a degree college. So I have been in Jai Hind in my junior college also. I was a Jai Hindite. Even my degree college I did from Jai Hind, and then I passed out for my post graduation in St. Xavier's College. So I can understand when you transition from junior college, where like really soft people in our own shells, suddenly you come in a degree, you have big responsibilities, Jai Hind's name to carry with yourself. So that transition is little, intimidating. There is anxiety and things like that. Moreover, you need to start afresh, right? There is a class whom you don't know, right? Teachers who you have just started interacting with. So it may be a little problem for some students. Some students open up fast, some students might take their own time in opening up, but that's part of the journey. At the end of the day, we all open up. Okay, so by the time you reach TY, you look back and say, oh, only if we had little more time with our teachers, only if we had opened up faster. So that regret should not be there. All right, open up with your teachers, because I'm sure all departments are very close knit departments, small departments, close knit with your own teachers, with your own friends, etc. And one thing you should always remember, that all of you are in the same boat. So you either all go together ahead, or that boat might sink together. So since you are a part of the same boat, okay, all need to work together. Okay, and that's how a class moves forward, and the joy is in moving together. So you may be a very introvert person, you may be an extremely extrovert person, take everyone along with you and you will enjoy the process, you will enjoy your 3 years of degree college to the fullest. So, memory that I would like to share is that when I was in FY, I was a quite soft student, introvert, didn't know what to do, and FY went like that. Okay, being very quiet. Suddenly in SY, I realized no, quiet is not something that I would like to do. Okay, because opportunities don't come to quiet people. You have to talk, right? So, so you have to interact. Otherwise, no one knows who you are, right? So in SY, we started interacting. We went on IVs. That's the time when we all bonded. You know, IV is one of the best things, and that's when we all bonded with our friends. We made a good friend circle. We bonded with our teachers also. So in IV, you actually get to see a different side to your teachers. You know, not the one who teaches you in the class, who's very strict, etc. You get to see the fun side of the teacher, and you enjoy it. Okay, in TY, we started participating in a lot of intercollegiate events. So one of the events that I participated in was Avishkar. It was at the Mumbai University level, and one thing that I can say is that whenever anyone, you know, if you go and tell them I'm a Jai Hindite, okay, there is a different the way they see you totally changes. That's sometimes it may be a really big baggage for you that oh, Jai Hind name is there with me. But I can tell you, even till date, whenever I say anyone, I say this, that I was a Jai Hind student and that I'm teaching at Jai Hind, my god, the respect in their eyes, like my god, Jai Hind. So that is something that you are privileged with, and I would suggest that you take that as a privilege, that you are a part of Jai Hind college, and enjoy your 3 years. Okay, so thank you, ma'am. If there is any interaction, we can take that up.
Thank you so much, Rukaya ma'am. I think you let your entire college years be painted in front of us in such a beautiful way. So what we can do is, students, if you have any questions from to Rukaya ma'am that you would like to ask her, which you think would be a sort of a guidance to you, maybe we will open up the chat box, the live chat option for like a couple of minutes, and if you have any questions, then you can ask on that chat box. Just give me a second. I'll just switch the option on.
And Rukaya, when you spoke, you brought us our college memories back. We remember our
I
FIs, the
do.
things that we went through, and everything. And it's good for them when they have their peers coming in, their peers talking and sharing with them, so they relate. Oh, we also went through it. Oh, we can manage it. We'll sail it with all of us being together with the supportive teachers. And as students, whenever you need anything, we as teachers are always there for you. Always there for you to guide you. And feel free to interact with us in the classes or wherever you can come and meet us.
So,
So I
students,
think,
the
ma'am, one
chat
thing that
box
I
is
would
open
say
now.
that, yeah, one thing that I would say is that Radhika ma'am was very right. You know, we were also once students, so we know the student life and we understand what students
Yes.
go through.
Yes, yes, true.
Just a second. I'll see if, and students, if you have any questions for Rukaya ma'am, you can post them in the live chat box and we'll read it out to ma'am. Um, as of now. And if you can't see the live chat box, you can refresh your page. You will see it, and then you can ask in questions. Or if you want to say hi to Rukaya ma'am, if you're meeting her for the first time. And yes, I agree with Firdaus ma'am that definitely your teachers are always there for you at any point. If you're having any problem, any issue, be mindful about it and open up to your peers, your teachers. We are all here for you. Any comments, any questions for Rukaya ma'am?
Please feel free to ask her anything that you
Anshika
want to cross
says,
check.
hi ma'am, nice to meet you.
Come on, students, anything that you would want to, any of your doubts, any of your
Good
queries,
evening,
anything,
ma'am.
feel
Nice to
free.
hear about your college memories. We just completed shades. Will we get time to submit? Yes, yes, Harshita, you will. Don't worry, we will give you ample time for you to
Thank
do
you.
your submission. Don't worry. Any questions for ma'am that you all would like to ask? Biotechnology students? We'll just wait. They are loading. No
Yeah.
questions. Okay. No questions. I'll wait for another 1 minute in case you want to ask something to Rukaya ma'am. Rukaya ma'am, which year did you graduate?
I
Senior?
graduated, I think, in 16, 17.
Oh,
16,
pretty
17.
recent. Okay, I don't think we have any questions.
They are just happy to see and hear me, I think.
What was the most memorable moment of your college life, Rukaya? I mean, like if there was something that you were to pick up, the most you could say, no, each memory, of course, from our college life is important, is memorable. But what do you think is something that you felt was very special or something, in your entire college life that really had an impact on you or something, if you were to tell us?
I, ma'am, there are so many memories. I'm sure you will agree that college life is full of memories
Yes,
now.
definitely, definitely, definitely.
But one of the closest memories was that in biotech we organize a fest called as Genesis. So working on that fest was the most amazing thing that has ever happened. We came to know so many hidden talents of the class. Many a times we came to know our own hidden talents. We didn't know we could do it, but we ended up doing it. So and the fights that are introduced during such fests is also a part of it. So yes, it was very it was like a tension moment and everything, but I think that was the best because we all work.
Fidos ma'am,
Yes,
Rukaya ma'am, we also have Principal Sir who's just joined
yes,
us.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
Sir, I am just adding you to the stream if that's okay. We are live on YouTube.
Radhika, sir, students are have asking questions. I think for Rukaya, ma'am, I'll
I
note it
think
down.
I
Yeah,
closed it.
yeah,
They was asking if ma'am is from
yeah,
biotech.
yeah.
Vadia sir, shall I add you, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening. You're
Good
live in
evening,
Yeah,
the
sir.
hello.
stream.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
No,
sir.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay, sir. So we have just
When you are
started
at the
with our.
backstage, you listen more. Now,
so
now she will have complex.
So, sir, we have just started with our YouTube streaming of the concluding session,
Yeah, yeah, I'm
and
aware. Please go ahead.
yes, okay,
Yes.
sir. So, anything that you would like to
Mhm.
add in?
Let her continue, no?
Okay, sure.
Okay,
Okay,
sir. Okay, sure, sir.
okay, sir. Yes, Rukaya, ma'am, you were saying.
Yeah, so Genesis was the most amazing memories that we had, and I think there was a question, ma'am. What was your course? Anshika
Huh.
Singh has asked.
Yeah.
I was a biotech student. However, at that time we didn't have biotech as standalone. So my combination was botany, chemistry, and biotech.
So I think those were some of the questions that the students had from for you, Rukaya ma'am. Thank you so much for joining in, and it's been a pleasure to hear from you and to imagine you as a student. And I'm sure that now that you're on the other side of the table, you also see yourself in all the students that are there in front of you. And it's good to see teachers having something so common to share with all the students. So thank you so much for joining in.
And just
Thank you so
really
much.
and really thank you, Rukaya, for coming, sharing your experience with students. And and all of us really enjoyed the way you spoke about. You covered most of the important and the essential topics. So just glad to have you here. Thanks once again from the entire Jehin team.
Thank you
Thanks so
so
much.
much. And it was my pleasure to be there, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Bye
dear.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, students. So that was Rukaiya ma'am, who, as a Jai Hind, a student, and now as a Jai Hind teacher, had something to share with you all. I also have a message from Tanvi More ma'am, who is a faculty for travel and tourism management, and who also has been a student of Jai Hind. So, since Tanvi ma'am couldn't join in because there was another parallel thing that she had to attend, she thought that she didn't want to let go of this opportunity and sent you a small message that she has requested us to read out. So I'm just reading out from the message. So she says, "Dear students, I am Miss Tanvi More, a Jai Hindite since 2014 to 2017 as a student, and now since last 3 years as a faculty of BVOC Travel and Tourism Management. Jai Hind isn't just a name for me, it's an emotion because it's a place that has molded me and made me what I am today. Our teachers here put in their everything to mold, guide, and help every single student. The quality of education and the culture of our college is just top class. Coming as a hopeless student who had no idea what I will be in terms of my career, to someone who graduated with absolute confidence of doing great with my life, this has all been a blessing for me because of Jehin College and the teachers of JHC. The 3 years of my graduation developed my personality in a way that helped me to go get what I wanted from my life. Today, as I look back while I stand here as alumni of Jehin College and currently a teacher here, I can only say choosing Jehin College to get my graduation from was the best decision I made. I will and I can is the boost and inspiration that keeps us going on and on. So that's a short message that Tanvi ma'am wanted to share with you all. And she requested that I read it out for y'all, so that you know that we have recent graduates also who have been a part of our college and are a part also of our faculty section now. And at every moment that they see you, they see a version of themselves sitting on those benches in the same classrooms and having so many experiences to share. So that was from Tanvi ma'am. And we also have another faculty from the art section who has also been a Jai Hind alumna. And she is also just here to share her experience with you. Uh, Simin ma'am, whenever you're ready, I can add you to the stream.
So all these alumni of our Jehin College who are here to interact with you, of course, they'll offer you a very important lessons. There are a lot of their experiences and all of that. I think these experiences will really help you a lot. Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, Firdaus, Radhika,
Simon, ma'am, you're mute. You're muted. I think.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
okay. So, hi, Firdaus, hi, Radhika. And I feel
Ma'am.
extremely happy that I have been given this platform. Jai Hind gives me and memories as a college student, puts me through a stage of nostalgia because I blossomed as a person only because of Jai Hind. It changed a large part of my personality. But remember, there are always two sides to the coin. Jai Hind students, Jai Hind will always offer a whole lot of activities for you. You have to find out what is it that you resonate with. Where does your vibrational frequency match with your own personality? And hence, I remember as a student, I was a part of so many college committee. We had hobby center, we had the magazine committee, we had the SDU, I was a CR. And now when I think about it, I'm feeling almost blank. But And I decided to be a part of all of this only because I knew that it would add to my skills. These skills would be leadership qualities, presentation, having good interpersonal communication and rapport. So Jahind offers a lot of all of this. You have to find where do you want to belong. And also, you can have a life beyond college also. But as you are in these very, very precious years of degree college, where the brain and your mind, all your ideas, creative ideas, gets a huge horizon, where you get to interact with your teachers, you get to grow as a person intellectually as well as emotionally. So Jai Hind will give you so much. And I also believe that a large part of my personality is what it is because of Jai Hind, but not so much as a teacher, but largely as a student. So I made the best out of it. I ensured that I was in classrooms. I used to have 100% attendance because I love studying whatever was happening in classrooms. So, classroom enjoyment is one part, but the second part is all your campus life. So, whatever you want to do in terms of bonding with your friends and spending time in the canteen or just browsing through books in the library, there is so much that can happen for you. At the same time, because there is a lot of support coming from faculty and we also have counselors on board, you can take help of everyone so that there is a whole round, all round holistic development that takes place. So I say I owe a large part of my personality, of my career, and of myself, all thanks to Jahin. And I somehow believe that if this is what it can do to me, that the bud blossoms so much, I'm sure this is what it can do for each one of you as well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I mean, it's so cool to actually think of the,
Of
now that
course.
you're a teacher here since so long, and you were once a student there. So I think it serves as such a great role model, also something that the students can look up to. Ma'am, would you be open to maybe a short interaction with the students?
Students.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, what we
Yeah.
can do is we can just open up
This
the chat
chat
section for a
session
couple
for
of
them.
minutes and let's see if there are any questions that can come up. Just give me a second, I'll just
Yeah.
enable it.
Sure.
Students, if you have any questions, any interactions that you want to have with ma'am, please feel free to type out the questions in the chat box and we will read it out for you and make sure your questions are addressed.
The chat is enabled. You all can refresh your page and you would see the section over there to post in your comments, your questions. Just a minute, ma'am.
So, in the meantime, I should also tell you that it is a lot of fun being on the other side of the classroom, but I get to know what is happening in those last benches, those mid benches, and the first benches. The first benchers will always nod. The mid benchers are trying so hard to focus, and the last benchers, they have a class of their own, but not in my philosophy classes. And that is why I say that you should have a lot of fun, and your college days are meant to have fun. Because at my age now, when you go back and you go through all those memories, it is something that will make you feel proud of the person that you are, and especially being a Jai Hindite.
So, ma'am, Zahra asks, ma'am, did you study philosophy as a student and which course do you teach in Jai Hind? That is Anshika.
So I do teach philosophy, and I must tell you all that I took philosophy because I did not want to study history. And I told the admission panel, give me anything, but don't give me history. And they said that, okay, we'll give you philosophy. And I didn't know the spelling at all. And I went with it. But I'm very happy that the teachers knew that I would gel well with philosophy. Yes, I do teach philosophy. I used to teach MCOM. I used to teach them a paper on business ethics and corporate social responsibility, but I don't teach that anymore. I taught them for a few years. I have also taught BMS. I used to teach a paper on Indian values and ethics. I have also taught BWalk. I am a professional certified event manager. So I had taught them event management for a year. So these are the various courses I have taught, but I'm a permanent faculty of art stream.
How interesting are usually the way we begin our careers and yeah, interests,
Yes,
right?
how
You never
like
know what works out. So students do take that into account, that as students you have the opportunity and the platform to try out so many different courses, activities, and you never know what might, what might click with you, right? So do try and explore.
And every subject has, more or less, I think every subject has an association which has a number of activities. And I remember I used to be a part of almost all associations, even if I wasn't I had not opted for that particular subject, but it was allowed at that time, because there is always so much to learn and grow from. And every subject comes up with very, very varied and different activities, and we can have the best of all the worlds.
So we have one more question, ma'am.
right.
Any specific double A clubs or activities? I think you just mentioned the
Your
associations that
favorite,
you were
they've
part
asked Kyati.
of.
Yes, so nothing in particular. I used to be a volunteer. I was in the hobby center, which is not there anymore. I was into SDU, and now I don't even remember. I was in so many committees, magazine and all of them. And you see where your heart and soul lies. If you go through my batch, the magazines which are available in the library, you will find me in some photograph or the other for all 5 years that I was a student of at Jain.
That's so nice to hear, ma'am. So I think that's no more questions are coming in. But I think this was a nice
Yeah.
interaction. And I think we wanted also to the students to know faculty who are not just students of Jehin, but also from different streams. So we had Rukaya ma'am, we had a message
And
from Tanvi ma'am, we had you, and it's been such a nice, coming together of ideas and of experiences. So thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out the time
Was
and
fun.
being here.
And thank you
thank,
so much for
thanks a
inviting
lot,
me
ma'am.
and having me. Firdaus, thank you so much.
Thank
Pratika,
you.
thank you so much.
Our pleasure,
Thank
ma'am.
you,
Now, to
Anything
ma'am.
all
else?
the best students, no matter which faculty you are from, I wish you all the very best for all 3 years at Jai Hind. And and I know, and someday you will feel proud that the decision that you took of taking admission in Jai Hind College was the best decision of your academic life. Best wishes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm just removing you from the stream.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Yeah.
See
Bye
you
bye.
tomorrow,
Bye,
guys.
Pratika.
Yeah. So, students, after this interaction with the faculty, where you all listen to their experiences, their views, and you could say, so now I think there'll be lots of things that would be in your mind about it. A lot of you could say, right from, as I said, right from your first session with regard to your pre SIP session, what you things, what were the thoughts in your mind, right from the first introductory session up till now. There have, as I've said, there have been, of course, a lot of transition, a lot of change that must have definitely taken in you. And of course, with each day is a learning lesson for us. So now I would request Radhika ma'am to start with the next part of the session, where we'll be taking you to the entire overview of the entire student induction program. That's Deeksharam that we had for your understanding.
And
Yes,
we hope
Radhika.
students that this recap provides you with an overview of all the sessions and gives you an idea of all that we covered. And accordingly, if you have the journal with you, if you have any questions, we will open the chat box again for Q&A at the end of the session. And accordingly, please do make a note of the things that you may have missed, and have a look, pay attention. And we just want to also, through this activity, get in touch with all those students who couldn't attend the live sessions, etc. Okay, so this is a recap for all you guys.
And relax and just enjoy these sessions. Any doubts, any queries, we both of us would be addressing to all your doubts, all your queries, anything with regard to the entire program, guys. Yes,
So
Radhika.
we started off with Principal Sir's orientation, like I mentioned to you earlier. and we had the first session, the introductory session of the Deeksharam before the Ganpati break. In this particular session, you were given an idea of what we would be looking at in the student induction program. I distinctly remember that on that day, in whichever FY class I went, I teach several FY classes. So in every FY class I went, there was this question that I eventually started expecting. Ma'am, what is SIP? Ma'am, what is this Deeksharam? Ma'am, how is it going to take place? So every question, the answer was, come for the introductory session and we will orient you towards what exactly is the Deeksharam and the student induction process. So this particular session was aimed towards introducing you guys to what is Deeksharam, what exactly are we expecting in the student induction program, and we initiated this session with Principal Sir's address. Sir spoke a lot about learning, which is not just for students but it is also for teachers. If you remember, sir also told the story of Eklavya, and the whole agenda of the SIP was to initiate you towards these 3 years of college life, your expectations, your aspirations, and trying to understand your own self in a slightly better manner, right? So to get your ideas, to understand where you are at, we also circulated a pre SIP form, which I believe most of you all have already filled in. The pre SIP form was essentially to get an idea of what are your existing notions about nature, about the world around you, what are your expectations from the upcoming 3 years of college life. And it also gave us an idea of how many students are there in each stream, and where what is your current data like, right? So the pre SIP form was circulated keeping that in mind. And we also went on to discuss the schedule of the SIP, wherein we acquainted you with information in terms of what would be the various sessions, what would be covering in those sessions, and what is the relevance of the SIP. Okay. During this course, I also mentioned to you about how to maintain the SIP journal. Okay. I again believe most of you all have already filled in that journal with a lot of reflections, ideas. Many of you all even shared those with us. So the SIP journal was to help you get into this habit, maybe, which you can of course carry forward ahead as well, of how to maybe jot down, note down your ideas, your expression. Think about why do you like some TV shows, some movies, what are your tendencies like, what do you do for the world and the nature around you, so on and so forth. So the SIP journal was something that we expected you all to maintain and put in your reflections after each session. So we hope that you all have filled in the SIP journal, because at the end of today's session, we will circulate a form again where you will be expected to upload that journal. Okay. The journal is nothing but a simple Word document which is saved under your name and your class. So, for instance, if it's my journal, it would be Radhika Rajwani FYBA SIP journal. Save that Word document with you, fill in your ideas. Some of the speakers also gave in certain questions to help you start thinking about that topic. And the journal is yours to maintain. We don't expect you all to have correct, accurate answers. The point is to reflect and to jot down those ideas and thoughts onto the Word document. So that Word document in either Word doc or PDF form will be uploaded by you once we circulate that Google form at the end of today's session. Okay. How long that link will remain active, etc., is something that we will explain later. Lastly, in that session, we also had a really wonderful student interaction where you had some of your seniors who came in to talk to you all about their Jehan College journey, and how many of them had these experiences of self doubt at times, of not being sure of themselves. But when they moved out of their comfort zone, when they explored college life, that's when they realized their full potential. And many of them are now in, in positions of being the class representatives, student council members, participating in national level competitions, pursuing further education. So we had those students coming in because we thought more than us, students would be the best people to give you that sense of support and that camaraderie. And we hope that you have found those familiar faces in campus now and you get to interact with them. So the introductory session was all about what to expect in the student induction program and what are the ways in which you can explore your college life and grow personally as well, along with all the other people around you in the course of the next 3 years. Just a second.
So, so students, we had the next session that we had after the introductory session. We had this session on self, which we conducted in our foundation course lectures, which all of us conducted. Me, Radhika ma'am, the other foundation teachers, were teaching you foundation course in your respective class. And then one thing me and Radhika were discussing the other day was about how we enjoyed it thoroughly, the entire offline session on self, right? Because somewhere we got to interact with yourself, we got to know you all in a much different level, because otherwise of course we do have introductory sessions for every subject, we do have it, and over a course of time we get to interact, know you much better. But the way when we conducted the self session, a lot of us, where we had certain interactive sessions, those questions that we had about ourselves, knowing ourselves better, and I remember very much after the session, a lot of them came and told me, ma'am, we never thought these questions, would we ever, would even, for example, a simple fact matter, what is something that you appreciate in yourself, right? I mean, of course, others, of course, will be saying, okay, you're good at this, you're not good at this. But, sometimes questions we don't even ask ourselves, what is something that you're proud of yourself? What is something that you appreciate? What do you think that there is a scope for improvement in you? So I remember the answers, all of you all gave the sheets, huge sheets of answers written. You all shared your experiences. So that made us more happy. And we said, ma'am, we want more such sessions, right? So I think that made us happier with the way we started with our first. And we're saying, we've got to a great start where students are showing such enthusiasm. And as Radhika said in the beginning, the energy that you all bring in, it kinds of motivates us, it kinds of inspires us. So in our first session, we of course did about what is self, and also understanding it through various perspectives. So there is no one perspective in life. At any situation that you look, there are different perspectives, and it is very very important for us to understand those perspective, having a very open mind, not having those one-sided view or a narrow view. So understanding your own self through different things, and also to introspect, understand yourself, work on, you could say, work on your strengths more to improve it, sustain it, and also the things that you feel you need to improve in yourself. In life you're always learners, right? We learn through each situations, everything in life teaches us something. So we kind of dealt with all of these important kind of themes that we dwelt. And of course the activities that we had it for self exploration through various things, through the poetry, through monologue, or it could be the way you all shared about your own experiences, where you all so that itself kind of, you could say, gave us, you could say, the kind of enthusiasm that we as faculty needed it. And whichever streams, whether it was the BA, BCom, BSc, BSc IT, BVOC TT, SDM, BAV, BBI. So meeting all these students of different faculty was itself a different kind of experience for us, because each batch, each stream students, they're bringing their own expertise, they're bringing their own energy, they have their own thoughts, they have their own ideas. So it kinds of, you could say, was a learning experience to both of us. And I'm sure you all would have had your experiences that you can share with us, on the entire aspect of self that we did with you. Yes, over to
I
you,
would also
Radhika.
like to add in, yeah, and when Firdaus ma'am said various perspectives, ma'am was so right in pointing out that we often don't realize that our way of looking at the world is our way, right? The way someone else looks at the world will be completely different. So, what we wanted to achieve through these offline sessions on the self was to maybe help you understand and maybe just spark that thought in your mind that the way I see myself can be from different perspectives, right? I am someone, I'm a person, I'm also someone who is a son, a daughter, etc. I also play the role of a responsible citizen. I will also take on the role of a professional at some point in life. I may be an entrepreneur. So there are various perspectives of looking at your own self, of identifying your own tendencies, the way in which you react to situations, etc. So what we did was, we discussed it with the teachers, and each one of them had a very different understanding of how they wanted to conduct this session. So we said, you know what, let you know your classes best, so why don't you take on activities that you think would be suitable for your interaction with your class, which you think would be best for helping students and yourself explore your own self better. So yes, I completely agree that this exploration of the self was not just something that was an activity for the students, but it was an activity for our own self too. We
Yes.
also had these moments where we would discuss it with each other as faculty members and say, you know what do you think I should do in this topic? But the psychological point of understanding the self is different, and someone would say, but have you thought of it from the philosophical point of view?
Yes.
So there are various ways in which you can actually understand your own self, and it's not something that you can always do overnight. It's a lifelong process. We are lifelong learners, as Firdaus ma'am said, and you will notice different versions of yourself evolving with the set of experiences that you get, the knowledge that you get. And these college years are very important when it comes to recognizing your own potential, and like Simon ma'am said, letting it blossom, right? So these offline sessions were curated, designed, and conducted keeping in mind the best possible ways in which we can enable you all to explore your own selves. Like Firdaus ma'am said, we did it via discussions, we did it via games, we did it via personality quizzes, we took in activities about related to the emotion wheels, or we even discuss certain theories with you. So through discussion, through these activities, we hope that you got an understanding about your own self, and you will now think about yourself in different manners. Okay, so that was what the whole agenda behind the offline self related sessions was. Anything else with those, ma'am, that you would like to
Yes,
add in?
and I also saying, because I remember, but the team bonding in session, I do remember some of the students did come and tell us, because when we had those activities where they had to speak to each other as friends to know how much they know of others, as friends, because they said, "Man, we were friends from a longer time, but we never asked these simple questions. We thought, okay, we know about our friends, we know something about these things in college or something." Because sometimes in life we look at bigger picture or larger picture. There are small things which matter, and we kind of think, oh, it's like it's understood, okay, these are very basic things. So they said when you had basic questions like, so what was something that your friend memorable moment, or it could be a special thing, anything that, so these are things which are important to cherish each memory. And they said, we need to have such sessions, very regularly, at least once a semester, for us to have these whereby we are talking about something about these self exploration. Because for us also, we remember when me, Radhika, and Inamaka, we attended these sessions for the first time as a part of our thing. I think for us also, it was a complete eye opener, right? The way we would look at things. So that definitely changed our perspective, and I'm sure it must have added a lot to your dimensions also.
So moving on, we then had a session by our resource person, Miss Mehak Punjabi, who's the college counselor as well. And ma'am spoke to us in detail about family and society, right? Ma'am's lecture or her ma'am's session sort of brought into perspective the importance of nurturing relationships. Now, our family and society as an extension, these are our relationships and our interactions that we often take for granted. We don't realize that we also play an active role in interpersonal relationships. So how do you then nurture, how do you then value those relationships, is what Mehak ma'am's lecture was all about. Through the questions that ma'am put forth, through the discussion and the examples that ma'am got in, she discussed how there are values in relationships that are very basic, that we very well know in theory and concept, right? Be it trust, be it respect, be it integrity, be it affection. These are ideas and thoughts and notions that we are very well aware of, but at times we fail to bring them into practice. Even if we try, there can always be misunderstandings, there can always be expectations, and not living up to those expectations. That's part of human relationships and the human world. So how do you achieve a harmonious coexistence, where for instance you agree to disagree, where you are tolerant, where you are inclusive, and what are the ways of achieving those in our day to day lives? Ma'am also discussed the ways in which you resolve basic conflicts, right? For instance, you expect your family members to do certain household duties, but if they do not do those, at times we immediately respond to those with a pent up frustration, but we don't realize that maybe they also had something going on which didn't give them the chance or the opportunity to take care of those duties. So how do you, along with your own day to day life, your responsibilities, your duties, how do you also invest time in nurturing these relationships and allowing them to grow, is what ma'am's lecture, ma'am's session on family and society was all about. And it's always important to note that these challenges in society of intolerance, of maybe conflicts, these are have been a part of the human society since a long time. But if at every individual level we take certain initiatives to address those, then we can achieve harmonious coexistence, wherein we are assuring peace for our own selves but also for the people around us, right? So one of your faculty members who interacted with you just now mentioned of how important it is to work together, the importance of being a team player, and understanding your own classmates, your friends better, and helping out each other, supporting each other to achieve the goals that you aspire towards, right? Because we function at an individual level, yes, but we are social creatures who need that support system. But that support system also needs to be built, nurtured, etc. So Mehak ma'am's session was very enlightening in that manner, and hearing that from a counselor also, gave it that additional, that enhancement, because that she was talking about from knowing and learning about human beings and human behavior. So after the self, the family and society is what we are closest to. So once we are working on our relationship with our own self, how do you take it one step further and strengthen the relationships with your classmates, your family members, your support system, is what we hope this session sort of acquainted you with. Okay, so that was session number 3 on family and society. Mehak ma'am also gave you a number of questions that she said you can think about and you can reflect on and add in your journal. She spoke to you all about, for instance, what career do I want to pursue, but don't stop there. Ask yourself why. Right? Is it because I want to help society? Is it because I wish to build something? So when you're answering these questions about yourself, you also understand what are your own what are your own responses to the society around you. So through such questions that you ask yourself, you get to understand yourself, yes, but you also get to understand your role and what you are capable of playing for the people around you. Okay, so that was the session on family and society.
Now, moving on from family and society, as Radhika ma'am has sent you about the way that our session on family and society went across. Moving from family society, the next important thing that we have a very important thing, connect a connection with nature and world. Nature is something that we all, nature is part of all of our lives. We and I think the nature that's there all around us, and it offers us so much lessons, right? The way we treat nature, the way we look after, the way nature has those very essential role in our life. And we had speakers, Dr. Devangi Chachan, who spoke to you about the nature. She spoke about what environment is, what are our duties and responsibilities towards environment, what role can we play in terms of its conservation and its preservation, and how as students, or how as individuals we can how as students or how as individuals we can play that very active role, doing our own bit of contribution towards the environment. It's not what others are doing, it's what you are doing for the environment. Because the environment is something that all of us eat, live, breathe at it. And for in order for us to be better, the environment has to be better, right? You need to conserve it. If nature gives you back, you also need to take care of nature. You need to value it. You need to appreciate what is there in the environment and nature. Because unless you appreciate and value it, you won't be able to enjoy, you won't be able to, you could say, take care of it. It's a two-way process, right? That's way. And also, how important is sustainable development for us? Today we talk about sustainable development goals and everything. She touched upon those topics, and as to how through our human activities we can achieve those sustainable development goals and bring about a healthy environment for all of us. The other speaker that was there was our own college faculty once again, Mrs. N.K. Jyoti, a psychology professor. She spoke about how our duties and our responsibilities, our contribution towards a larger picture of world. What defines those, how are our goals? How do we define your objectives? Something not just for yourself, but something in terms of utilitarianism, on a larger context. What you do, how do you help others, your contribution, not just yourself, limited to yourself, but to the society. And even in whatever way you can do, it doesn't have to be a very big one, something on a very grand scale, whatever you can do within your own community, within your locality, among your friends. So how do you bring about this transformation, change in others? Your so kind of, that's something which is very very, so if we move from our small steps to a larger steps whereby we can contribute ourselves. And also there are different ways, in which we reach, the way which you approach it. And those were different possible ways it was discussed by Jyoti ma'am. And how through your own goal, defining your own goals, defining the objective, and also carving a path for attaining those objectives. That's something which is very very important, these concepts of the entire last session on nature and world that we had with you. Radhika, you would like to add something to this?
I also just realized that towards the end of the session, we also had Bhavna coming in again, a student of TYBA, and she spoke about how there are these communities. You have the NSS in
Hmm.
our college, you have these cells, these societies that work towards social development and social improvement. Okay, they give you a platform to discuss and understand the ways in which you as a college student can participate in society and in your own way make the world a better place to live in for yourself as well as for the others and even the future generations. So this entire topic of the nature and the world was aimed at helping us examine the ways in which we play a role in, like ma'am said, creating a sustainable environment where we can coexist harmoniously, where we discuss, where we explore mutual happiness, yes, but how do we also ensure that the future generations also find a similar world to live in, right? It's not just about me myself and what is an advantage to me. I also need to think about creating a world that I am happy in and the future generations would also be happy to live in. So it's a two-way interaction between me and the world around me, right? I as a person interact with my family, I interact with my society, my community, my immediate locality. I also interact with the nature, right? I interact with the environment around me. I look at and understand the nationality that I belong to, and I'm also a part of a global society. So, all in all, this one self, your own one self, is surrounded by so many different groups and different scope of engagement. So, you are now at the threshold where you're going to enter these various areas, and you are now I remember Rukhaya ma'am mentioning that it can be a little intimidating to think of the various responsibilities that are, now that you're shouldering on your young shoulders, who's now just entering a degree college, but which also, but at the same time assures you that you have a lot of power and opportunities to make a difference. So do try to think of ways in which you can achieve that for yourself, as well as for the people around you, and at the same time to the nature around you, right? So something as simple as even not throwing a wrapper, a plastic wrapper, on the road and keeping it, and maybe throwing it appropriately, discarding it appropriately, recycling material. These are various ways in which you are letting the natural world and the man-made world also coexist. So little adjustments that you do in your life can go a long way. And Devangi ma'am and Jyoti ma'am's session combined uh, was aimed towards helping you explore these various ways in which you can achieve that. Anything else that you would like to add, Firdaus ma'am?
Yes, and I think I really appreciate the fact that Radhika ma'am brought about how, as individuals, we can play a role. Where she gave you examples of taking care of the environment or something. Maybe you start with something, maybe at the different way that you are at your role and responsibilities in the college, where you see, towards the environment, toward cleanliness, what role each one of us, and what happens, at times when you take that efforts, you are in a way inspiring others also in and around you, right? They also learn from you. Okay, if you are taking that efforts in terms of looking up, not throwing wrappers or anything, making sure that the table that you're sitting in, you leave it properly.
Switching off the lights when they are not in
Yes,
use. So simple.
it's not like, as I said, big smaller, because when you learn, then others also in the class, oh, so it's kind of, you could say, you kind of motivate, you kind of inspire, even taking steps, even like when you are using water, we keep on, we put just on the tap, and when you're washing your hands in the washrooms and things. So you have to at least conserve and just preserve those things, because something which is a luxury for you may not be something a luxury for the others. There are people who are struggling to use those resources in the environment. So you have to appreciate what you have. You have to appreciate and value each and every resources, so that it's also there for the other future generations to come in. And you would, because see, once you take care of it, and I think you yourself will feel happy with the contribution that you are doing towards the environment, and the other small steps then lead to other bigger
And
important
it
life.
all starts with the individual, right? It all
Yes.
starts with the individual. So what we did is, whatever snapshots that we could sort of find, that we all our teachers had taken, that we had taken during the session, you can just see an example of all that we have done in the past few days. Of course, a lot of back end work is not put over here, but this is the SIP in action, right? This is the student induction program being executed and implemented at Jai Hind College in such an important 75th year. So you have a full class with the offline session on the self, all eagerly listening in, all excited to participate in the conversation. You have a snapshot of an alumni Jai Hind student interacting with you guys during the introductory session. You have a snapshot of the online session, where you can see so many of y'all had already posted so many comments, questions. You had teachers making these beautiful presentations and bringing in content that they felt was very important and relevant for the topic. And you also have these groups of students who find any corner of the classroom but are busy doing their work and are so engrossed in that activity. This is exactly what we aimed to achieve, interaction between faculty members and students, using technology and offline interaction to achieve the goals that we set out with, including not just current students but also former students of Jai Hind College, to interact and engage, because that student connection is something which is so important at our college, right? It really helps us to achieve our goals and objectives in such an energetic and enhanced manner. And of course, the student participation, like we started the session by talking about how enthusiastically you as students have participated in all the sessions and activities. So we really salute that effort that you all have taken to participate and keep up to date with all that we have done. And these are just some of the pictures that sort of represent the entire student induction program. Right, Fidos ma'am? I'm
Yes,
sure
yes,
you've
definitely,
also gone through
definitely.
the images.
Yes, and it was really a pleasure to see you all doing all those activities with the kind of enthusiasm that you all were doing. And for, as Radhika ma'am rightly said, having it in the 7th, 5th year the student induction program, it was really an exciting experience for all of us, for us also to learn a lot about this entire thing. And the more the happiness that we saw on your faces, the lovely responses also when we were doing the post celebration with the activities that you all had set us in, we were really overwhelmed with the responses that we all received from it, right, Radhika? So it was, we
Yes.
really were happy when we read each of them. We really kind of appreciated the efforts that you all have taken up in cooperation with us right from the beginning up till now.
And also the talent that we have in our
Yes,
F1 is impressive, huh?
amazing, huh? I mean, we were just so happy reading out the poem, looking at the drawings that they had made, and we said, "My God, these are FYs, and they are such power-packed house of talent." And we had difficult time in going selecting okay which one to take for today's session. It was really each one was best. Each one was as
Had
amazing.
we got enough time, I think we would have added all of them. We had a tough
Yes,
time selecting some. So now, now comes the second surprise, right? The first surprise was the number of faculty members who came in to interact with you all, and this is the second surprise. We act It's not much of a surprise, but yes, it's something that we were looking forward to, because we circulated a form some days ago where we asked you all to submit certain entries, be it poetry, artwork, essays, that you think you would want to share with your classmates, and certain select entries would be looked at and discussed during the concluding session. Now, students, I have to tell you that this was not at all a competition. Like Firdaus ma'am has already mentioned, we had a very tough time selecting a range of entries, right? We decided to pick some stories, we decided to pick some artworks, and from across all streams. So we
teams, yeah.
have representatives of FIBCom, FIBBM, FIBA, FI BSc IT, FIBSc, etc. So let me tell you that if your artwork is not put up over here, it is not because we didn't find it worthy or anything like that. Not at all. In fact, we had to really really sit down and understand how do we diversify it, and how do we manage it in the time that we have.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate all the efforts that you have done, and give yourselves a pat on the back for
Yes.
submitting something and taking that one step towards expression of your creativity. So we have some examples for you to just kind of showcase to you what exactly our FYs are and who they are. They have come with a lot of power and talent,
Yes.
and it's also a celebration, right, of your self creativity, your identity, and a step towards that exploration.
Yeah, your
So
talent, your confidence, and I think the way that you came up, with all of these things, as even Radhika said, in fact, the number of entries that we got, it would have taken, of course, a lot. We were then thinking, okay, let's take something from FIBA, BCom, basic. We then again thought, oh, BCom also again, these are interesting. So no, we need to finish this in a stipulated time. So definitely, we have read all through of it, and as Radhika said, you just pat on your back, and also from ourselves a huge round of applause to you for having doing those work of art. And amazing, it was not even a one piece of art, they had written so many things, the thought process, and also the way you describe why you did this activity. So
yeah.
we were very happy the way you were so open with us. You were able, you had the trust in us, you had the confidence to share your stories, to share your experience with us.
So what we can do is maybe we can give a shout out to all the
Yes,
students who
a huge round
submitted.
of applause.
What I can do is maybe quickly read out
Read
the
out the
entire
list.
list of
Yeah,
students
sure.
who submitted,
We'll do that.
and then out of these we will just share some.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Kushi Baranwal, Nisrin Zulfikar Saria, Shreyasi Jain, Sukriti Sen, Ikra Asif Koradia, Sheikh Mohammad Tahir, Gul Pavan Chotlani, Sakshi Sandeep Shah, Riddhi Goyal, Nishtha Nitin Bansal, Vanshika Yogesh Vikam, Tanishka Vikas Kothari, Maithili Arvind Hotkar, Meet Madhav Punghera, uh, Shikshita Indrajit Gupta, Fatima Murtaza Bansal, Ananya Kaushal Goradia, Dishi Kaushal Dotia, Sandhya Pramod Jha, Masuma Sheikh Khurshid, Sheikh Sabir Abules, Sitanshu Sitaram Yadav, Anushri Ashish Biani, Husaina Hussain Ujjainwala, Kehan Rubair Baker, Yashasvi Solanki. Firdaus, you want to carry on?
Yeah, Yashasvi Solanki, Manikanika Singh, Sneha Arvind, Tanya Sunil, Anjuman Anwar, Harshita Ajay, Iman Fareen, Ansari Mohammed, Pranali Prantik, Manjri Khandelwal, Shailaja Lata, Sharfia Khanam, Yash Bhavesh, Bhakti Dilip, Dhruva Hasimil, Arya Vinod, Sanya Shivdas, Disha Harish, Roshni Prajapati, Sakshi Eknath, Udita Dalip, Asim Mushtaq, Aboli Suhas, Singh Anshika, Jia Ashish, Dhwani Naveen, Mrinal Shobit, Mehak Mayur, Mohammad Asif, Aishwarya Nayak, Divya Lalwani, Swati Mishra, Kavita Chaudhary, Urja Sanjay, Aditi Das, Kunjika Thakkar, Jishita, Lamia Darkhunwala, Khushi Chadwa, Piyush Chaudhary, Sakshi Shah, and Dhruv Shetty. So each one of y'all really thanks from all of us here for you to submit your entries and to submit your artwork, your talent, your thoughts, your creativity. We really had a wonderful time going through all of these things.
And some of you have been so honest in terms of why you are submitting that. So
Yeah.
we don't want to read out all the reasons because we feel maybe it's also personal to you, but we are very happy that you took that one step towards sharing that with us and owning that about your own selves, your own experiences. And I would really like to proceed with the artwork. For those, ma'am, if you can call
Yes.
out the names of just some of the students
Yes,
whose work we
definitely.
are sharing, I will then share
Yeah.
screen for that.
Sheikh Mohammed Tahir.
Okay, 1 second. I think it's a poem.
Yes, it's a poetry. Yeah. Yeah. Poem.
Just a second. Yeah, I hope it's visible to you all.
Yeah. I think a little, I think thoda sa little zoom Radhika bas. Yeah. Yeah. Fine, fine.
So, all the noise in the world and in my head, it keeps me on the surface, but I want to swim deeper. It's not that I don't like the world or its people. I'm just yearning for a quiet place where I can sink into the layers of my being. Right?
So,
Something so much along the lines of self exploration that we have
yes.
been talking about, and just trying to understand your own self, trying to find a place of tranquility, of peace, where you can finally understand your own thoughts, your ideas, etc. So a wonderful poem which has been written by one of our students, and we hope that you all continue to write such brilliant poetry, and in such a such a nuanced manner, right? So wonderful.
Yeah. The next we have Sakshi Shah from FY BCom.
Okay, just a
Yes.
second.
So after Sheikh Mohammed from FIBACIT, we are next having a Sakshi Shah from FIBCom. So it's good to see students from different streams and listen their own perspectives. Yes. A little zoom, Radhika.
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oops. I'll scroll if you can
Okay.
read.
I'll read it. I'll read out as well. तू सबको साथ लेकर आगे बढ़ता जा, रफ्तार से चल रही है तेरी जिंदगी, तू अपनी लड़ाई खुद लड़ता जा, और कहीं कोई थक जाए अपनी राह पर तो उसके साथ लेकर आगे बढ़ता जा। एक रुई के टुकड़े से तूने कपड़े का निर्माण किया, तू ऐसे ही अपने सपनों को हकीकत में बदलता जा। तू एक प्रतिबद्ध वैज्ञानिक है, तू नामुमकिन को मुमकिन में बदलता जा। तू अपने व्याख्यानों से दूसरों को जीने की तरकीब सिखाते जा। तुझे जिंदगी के उसूलों की खबर है, तू सबको जिंदगी के पाठ पढ़ाते जा। जिनको कोई बीमारी सता रही हो, उनको तो निस्वार्थ इलाज करता जा। जो लोग परेशान लग रहे हैं, उन सभी की का तू राह दुख हरता जा। जितनी गहरी जमीन खोदता है, तू उतनी ही आलीशान इमारतें बनाती जा। तेरे नाजुक हाथों में जो कला है, उससे उससे लाखों लोगों का घर बनाता जा। So it's kind of like, so like Radhika, when you're reading it, it's kind of so thought provoking. It's so kind of emotions. You feel like
It's very
something.
inspiring also, you know.
Yes,
We hope that yes, this is the motivation with which you proceed in your college years, where you not only look after your own self, but you use your skills, your art, your abilities to create a world that helps others too. So really another inspiring poem. Next up.
next is Maithili Hotkar. She's from FIBA. She sent a drawing to us.
Okay, let me see. Mentally, it's a drawing.
Yes, yes. Cell number 14, Maithili Hotkar drawing. She sent it.
Give me a second. I'll have to open it.
Yeah.
Ha, अच्छा got
Hmm.
it. This is. Oh, this is the sand art.
Yes, it is. Guys, please watch it carefully. I mean, it's amazing.
Just a series of artwork which have been done live on sand. I'll just go on mute.
नीयत बुरी हो, फितरत बुरी हो, दुनिया बुरी नहीं। एक और से ये दुनिया को देख लो, जरूरी नहीं। बादल की बूंद सागर की लहर का गीत है ये दुनिया, धूली की खनक पायल की झनक संगीत है ये दुनिया। दुनिया किसी पे हारो तो जानो क्या जीतिया, एक डोर बांधे साधो जन्म का वो प्रीत है ये दुनिया। ये ईद भी है, बैसाखी भी है, दिवाली है ये दुनिया। इंसान ही से संभाली है ये दुनिया।
Mind blowing. Lovely work. Radhika, you're muted.
Thanks. And I was saying it just brings together so many ideas and of society, of what we practice as human beings, and it was just a very different form of art that the student had also submitted.
And a
So that's
beautiful message, right? I mean, connecting it to the sessions that was conducted, the learning, you could say the outcome that the student depicted in a very beautiful way and a very simple and elusive way of explaining things through it. You know, how art can be an important medium for expressing yourself through different means, you know, whether it's your
true.
poetry work, any work. It's just a beautiful way of expressing your thoughts, your emotions, and your ideas that you have. So
Next.
next, yeah. Next we have Fatima Udaipurwala. She has submitted a poem to us from FIBA.
Okay. Okay. Oh, this is about friendship, I think.
Yes.
Can I zoom in?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
And indeed, friend, she writes, she says, all around a true friend is found so rare, with whom the little things my heart can share. That one soul who can determine what I actually feel, and those honeyed words who would assist me to heal, whose love is eternal and feelings for me are pure like gold, whom I can trust immensely till my hairs grow old. At times I shall be unable to find someone of my age, but I would adore it if we are similar by intellectual stage. Walking side by holding tight my hand each day. Will I ever find such a friend someday? It's so, I mean, amazing to write at this age about friendships, what you think about it,
And
what are
how
your,
we require each other to go
yes,
on in life, right?
yes, so true, amazing.
Anything else?
And yes,
Next.
the next, yeah, next student is Dishi Dotia, FI Biotech.
Oh, it's artwork. Series of artworks. So she has submitted this and she says creativity takes courage and a lot of natural uh, elements in the artwork, and how the nature around us, the environment around us can also be so beautiful and peaceful if only we take the moment to stop and observe, right? Such a beautiful representation of oneness.
Lovely. I mean, each thing of the drawing work, artwork has such a message to convey to us, right, Radhika? And the way it's been
Even the
done.
food.
Yes.
So like we had mentioned earlier, a beautiful coexistence of of the society around us with each other and the natural and the man-made world, right? So wonderful, wonderful rendition.
Yes. So we have our next student called Manikanika Singh from FIBSC. She has submitted her work, we could say, which is a poetry come drawing on tree plantation.
Okay, just a second.
Yeah.
Ha, got it. Here you. The closer you look, the more elements and the details that you see
Yes.
about how it's our responsibility, irrespective of our culture, our nationality, etc. How it's our responsibility to nurture the world around us.
And so beautifully, so carefully, so articulately depicted through this work of art or drawing, you know, so that sends out a very important thing, a message for us. You could say a lot of things that we could even looking at this artwork, learn for ourselves. Lovely, a very important topic where we connect with nature. So we're very happy, like Radhika, you know, everything that they've submitted the work of art, they've connected with each of these sections, you know, and how
True.
beautifully it's like, you know, it's somewhere you're feeling, oh, the learning outcome of each of these sections, they're very beautifully depicted in each work of art, you know, that we've
Very
seen.
true.
I think each one, each and every student, definitely. The next that we have with us is the work submitted by Pranali Chakrabarti Again, she submitted a drawing to us from FIBSC, Pranali Chakrabarti.
Yeah. So you have intricate mandalas and wonderful, intricate, detailed work over here, which is also an interesting technique for soothing yourself, for taking a break and immersing yourself in art. So it really helps you. It's almost like meditation in art form, right? It's beautiful display of how at times just pausing and paying
Self
attention
reflection, right?
can help you to achieve that. So beautiful, very poignant
Yes.
drawing, beautiful, very reflective.
The use of art, minuteness, no, the careful thing of the use of colors, the use of this precision, that everything has been incorporated in the key elements, if you could say, if you look at the work of art, that's really great.
So that was by Pranali.
Yes.
Next.
Next, we Yash Jetwa from FIBA. He has submitted his work of drawing to us.
And he had specifically mentioned that many of these drawings are from childhood as well. So it sort of shows you how when you look back on your childhood too, you recognize this evolution about your own self, right? So these are just several that he has shared.
And something, a childhood thing that you should continue. Many of us, when we get to school, college, the other roles, respond, we forget those things. Those are habit, those are passion, those are dreams. And he's very depicted the all of
So this is
us.
history records the success of people. Fidos ma'am would be able to talk about it.
Definitely. He's, very beautifully he's depicted each and everything, so that's amazing
You
that
also
he's
have
talking.
cartoons, you have natural elements, and you have so many different varied colors. So thanks, Yash, for submitting something and making us realize that sometimes the activities and the artwork that we take on as children, we need to continue working on that, and not just for competitions but also for helping ourselves understand our own work better.
Uh, the
Next.
next student is Disha Suryavanshi, and she's written an essay to her dad, and I think it's the most emotional, very heartwarming, very touching. We really, well, it made us emotional, both of us, when we were reading this together, right? So it was truly, I mean, we have it for you
Just a
now.
second.
Disha Suryavanshi, FIBSc IT.
I'll just zoom in.
Yeah.
We might not be able to read the full thing, but we
Well,
can
yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
read
I think it's
snippets.
ऊपर will have do thoda sa
Yeah,
little
go to the
above.
top.
Yeah. I think little bit overwhelmed. Yeah. She's written, "This is about a gem of my life, the one who cheers me when I'm sad. Being at my worst, he excuses all my bad, holds me tight and hugs me tighter even if he's mad. Yes, this is about my dad. The day I left home for further studies, this is very important for all guys. The day I left home for further studies made everything to come along. I was so overwhelmed. Every tiny memory came together and got stuck to my heart. I remember the way I grew up. Under his experiences, guides, I grew up shaping his mustache. I grew up listening his best moments of his life during the car rides. But now, when I'm away from him, I got to know when he was sharing his experiences and best moments and fun. And we used to and we used to laugh so much listening to it. That was a moment. Those were my best moments. And now I realize that his company meant so much to me. Even if he was the only one with me, I used to think I am with my world. Here, without him, I feel like surrounded by thousands but standing alone. But I'm pretty sure, even if he's not beside me physically, he is with me each second of my life. So that's really, the kind of things that really allow students who have outstation students who have come back to the city, a different experience, and all these setup, the kind of thing that's there in their mind. Very, I mean, with all the emotions, with everything that she's expressed, right, Radhika? So,
So students, be kind to your classmates.
yes.
Listen to them, hear them out, offer
Mhm.
them a friendly support, because many of them are also experiencing this distance from their loved ones, and it's not an easy time to go through. So your family, you realize your home, these things are so important and you value them so much more when you're away from them. So be kind, be warm to your classmates, help them out, offer them the company that they require, that they need, and create these bonds of friendship, which will go a long way in helping each other grow and take care of this difficult phase of life. Of course, we teachers are always there, but the company and the bonding that you get, your friendship that you get with your classmates, is something which often goes a long way, right? Why do you think people even 20, 30 years after graduating college really miss their friends, are still friends with them? And it's such a special bond. So create those bonds of friendship. And when we read this, we felt very touched, very overwhelmed too. And so many of our outstation students really miss being home. So all we can do is create an environment where they feel involved, they know that they are loved, that they are appreciated. And as classmates and as friends, it's also your responsibility, your duty, to extend that hand of friendship.
And I think
So
these friendships, these bonds that you create in your college life, in your school years, are special and memorable. Of course, you will have friendships that you'll make throughout your life, but these are something which are very special. You've seen each other, you've grown each other, you've seen yourselves in the time where you all were evolving. You all were making carving a career for yourself. You're doing so many things. So it's like the memories that you have it in your school life, in your college life. These are cherishable memories. Which will always remain with you and bring a smile and happiness in all situations in your life.
do we have any more things
Yes,
to
one
share?
more. The last entry we have, the last that we are talking about, is Kavita Chaudhary from FYBMM. She sent a book of drawing to us.
Okay. Okay, now this is also an important one, a very introspective artwork. Just a second. One second. So, it's about how we also have these ideas, these thoughts, which we call as inner demons, right? Which often cause problems to us, right? They sometimes don't allow us to express ourselves completely. Sometimes they create self-doubt. It may impact your confidence. But the power that you give your inner demons is in your control, right? So don't get intimidated, don't fear these inner demons, and don't let them have that power over you. Accept it, embrace it, and know that you're not alone, right? Know that, like we've been talking about, know that there are people around you who appreciate you, who want you to grow, want you to succeed. And when you do that self introspection, when you reflect on your own self, there will be moments when you come across these inner demons. So try to understand what power do these inner demons have on you, how can you face them, and how can you overcome them. Okay, so your college life is also going to um, get you face to face with parts about yourself that you may not always like, but it's very important to know that that is also part of you, right? You as a person. So the more you understand yourself, the more control you have about your interests, your tendencies, the way you act in situations. And the first step towards that is to self reflect and introspect. So that was why this entry by Kavita was also something which was quite powerful, and something very real, right? So it's not just about creating a world which is full of fancy and a lot of fun and frolic, but it is also about experiencing and growing, okay, which will be a little uncomfortable, but that will also be a sign that you're growing towards your full potential.
So it was really an amazing experience for us to read out those entries by you and read out the entries that has been sent by you. So once again, thanks to all of you all for participating so passionately, and for all of you all for being such a wonderful, lovely audience.
And
And now,
we come to an important part of the student induction program, which is completion and uploading of your journal. We are not giving you any question for today's session because we are releasing a Google form. Okay, I will release it in the next 1 minute. What you need to do is fill out the Google form, and in the upload option, upload your journal entry as a Word document or as a PDF document. But students, you have to ensure that your document is named correctly. Your
yes,
name, full name, has to be mentioned in the document name along with your class. So I repeat, if the journal was mine, it would be Radhika Rajwani FYBA SIP journal. Once you have uploaded that particular journal, that is an important step towards your certificate. You will get a certificate that you have attended all the sessions and you have completed this journal and uploaded it. For the advantage of students, we know many of them travel back home late, there is network issues, etc. Many of them give that feedback to us. We will keep the form open till 8th of September 5 p.m. Please note, 8th of September 5 p.m., and we will again circulate all the links that of the YouTube sessions so that you can go through these, complete your journal and upload it. Because many of you all have many of you all have been attending classes, there are activities, there are a lot of things that are on your plate, so we understand that you may require some more time to complete it, but this journal completion and upload is a very important step for your certification. So I am just posting the Google form. It will be on your chat box. Give me a second. I repeat, the chat box has been enabled, so you have to refresh your page.
refresh, reload, and you'll be able to see the link. And as ma'am explained, listen to it carefully so that it helps you when you're submitting your entire form. Fill it after careful thought, fill it in peace, fill it in ekdam with the proper frame. Think over the questions that have been there and properly. It's kind of self-reflection for you. So do it very thoroughly, students. And as said, we'll be again sending out to you the entire links and everything for you to view it and fill it, and we're giving you time also to do it very properly. Please make sure you do it, as a part of the entire completion of this program.
If you can't see the Google form, please refresh your page. It has been posted, it has also been pinned. So refresh your YouTube page, you will see it active over there. You can start uploading your journal as and when you complete it, and that would mean that your student induction program submission has been done. We might also have some post SIP sessions eventually in the course of this year, and whenever we plan those, we will also keep you all in the loop. And once again, I want to thank all the FY students on behalf of the team SIP for your continued enthusiasm and your the passion, like Vidos ma'am said, with which you have submitted your entries and interacted with us. And conducting the student induction program was also a wonderful experience for all those of us who are involved in it. And Firdaus and I would also like to place on record
Record.
our sincere thanks to
Thanks.
uh, Vadia sir and Srila
Bye.
ma'am and Anamika ma'am, who has not been in
Yes,
the sessions with us but has done so much of the work at the
doctor.
back end, and all the Jai Hind faculty members who have taken sessions, coordinated with the students, helped us make the student induction program such, such whatever, however it is, and we are very
Yes.
proud of it. Uh,
Yes. Without
so,
their support and cooperation, I feel it would have not, been the way we would have been able to execute. So we appreciate our sincere record and thanks to each one of us who have helped us in the entire conduct of this session.
we also have with us over here Srila ma'am,
Sheila, ma'am.
uh,
Yes.
who would also like to take this moment to address you all. Ma'am, I'm just adding you to the stream.
So, am I added, Radhika?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am, you're audible and
Yeah.
visible. Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, students. I wish I could hear a hearty good evening, ma'am, from all of you. But since all of you are muted, I take it that you are wishing all of us a very good evening. Thank you, Radhika ma'am, and thank you, Firdaus ma'am, for conducting this session so beautifully. Students, uh, we know that all of you, I think most of you, when you were in school, you had a subject called moral science. And in moral science, you were taught ethics and values and principles and love and kindness. And, short stories were told where all these values of life came forth. But somehow down the line, as we grow up, we don't forget these values, but these values somehow take a back seat because they get covered by a cobweb. And we don't, although we are aware, we know that this is what we are supposed to do, somehow maybe we don't always are up to it to do it. So as your facilitators, in when you have entered your college, the reason why it has been kept in the first years is that if you understand what is our role in Jai Hind College, we as facilitators, you as students, you will probably come out of Jai Hind College as a better human being. You already are an excellent human being, but you will come out even better than what you are today. You will understand the importance of love, importance of kindness, importance of empathy, importance of being silent for a little while and listening to others, the importance of the joy you can give to others when you just say a small word of appreciation for that person, when you don't pull down the other person but put up the other person, when you put I in the background and we in the foreground, when you work as a team. And all these values, you somehow learn during the course of college life. When you participate in the committees, you learn to work as a team. When you are in the class and you miss out something that the teacher is saying, you ask your friend. That is cooperation, that is friendship. When you share your go to the canteen, you find something very nice to eat, but you are falling short of $10 or $20, and your friend offers to give it to you. That is friendship, that is understanding. When somebody wins a prize and you cheer and you say, yes, so and so, go and get it, go so and so. That is when you cheer, when you root for your friend, that is showing appreciation. So you do learn all these values. Remember that at the end of 3 years of your college life, you will get a degree, but more important than the degree is the values that will be inculcated inside you, and you yourself can do it. We are just facilitators, we have just brought this program together for you to just, ring the bell within you that yes, this is also something very important besides getting a degree. But you have to work very hard for it. Very hard in the sense you don't have to do anything getting up in the morning and opening a textbook and studying, but just being aware of your surroundings, of your friends, of your acquaintances, of your teachers, of your peers, of everything that is about you, and understand your role and how you can make life a little better for them. If you understand that, you will find your life automatically becoming better. The very fact that you have joined in for the student induction program, the very fact that you have submitted so many poems. I was just listening to some of the poems that Radhika ma'am and Firdaus ma'am had read out. The very fact that you all had taken the effort to submit your drawings, you had drawn, you had written poems, just interacted with Radhika ma'am and Firdaus ma'am and told them that you all are really enjoying it and you would like to have more such sessions, shows how much you are valuing all these values that we are trying to inculcate within you. So just see that you keep the flame glowing inside you. Um, Remember, only I can help myself. Nobody else can. But whenever you are in need, we are always there for you. Whether we are there in person, whether we are in the background, whether we are in the foreground, we are always there for you. So anytime you want any one of us in any walk of your life, any whether you are there in Jai Hind, whether you pass out from Jai Hind, if we are still there, we will always be there with you, either in kind or in spirit. So God bless you all. I hope that your experience in Jai Hind will be so fruitful that one day we will call you to share your experiences of how was your student induction program on in your first year of college, and that will be an achievement for us when you can relate your experiences so that you can motivate the next lot of students for you. Okay, so thank you very much for showing so much of interest. God bless you. Keep your interest alive. And thank you, Radhika ma'am, and thank you, Firdaus ma'am. I think both of you have done a wonderful job. Our principal, Dr. Wadia, had initiated this movement and he had shown us the path. I think he had addressed you on the first day. He had told you two beautiful stories, one from the Mahabharata. If you all still remember it, I think the YouTube live streaming is still there, Radhika ma'am, on the website.
Yes,
They
ma'am. We
will
would be
speak about
circulating the links with them again.
exactly. So you listen to that story. It's a very beautiful story from Mahabharata, and I would like all of you to reflect and try to decide who is right and who is wrong. There is never something black and white in real life. There are always shades of gray. And it is
Yes.
in those shades of gray that we have to find out what the real meaning of life is. So, thank you all. God bless you. And have a very nice evening.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Sheila
much,
ma'am,
Sheila
for
ma'am.
all
This
the
exactly
support,
wouldn't have
guidance, and
been.
everything. Without,
That's
it's
so
really
true. All of it wouldn't have been possible
without possible without
without you being the backbone of
backbone,
our.
for
No,
being
no,
available for
for
us
God,
every
for
time.
both of you. And Anamika, there is Anamika ma'am also. I hope she is able to join us soon.
Yes,
She also had worked very hard, and
very
uh,
hard.
I think
Yes, ma'am,
the big
really.
foundation was laid by her. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then unfortunately she's not been keeping well for the last few days, and therefore this you have not been able to see her. But I'm sure if we do have the post SIP session,
For
which
sure, ma'am.
which our principal sir is very much looking forward to, because he always feels that whenever we have an interaction we should also know what that interaction is culminating into. And if we have a grand celebration, which we'll keep our fingers crossed, when you will come sit down in the auditorium and show your talent about all these different values. So that time probably Anamika ma'am will also join us. and she
Hoping
will
for the
see that.
best, ma'am.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
she will then understand how much she has missed out.
True, ma'am. And I shall be
True.
very proud also.
Proud of the entire
We all started this journey
yes,
last
Yes,
together,
year,
you know.
I
and
know.
it's been a lot of intermittent hard
It is
work to
Yeah,
culminate into this program.
really, I mean,
So,
joining all the different streams together into a single thread is by itself, I think, a very, very big achievement. So, really,
we are
hats
very
off.
happy, ma'am,
happy
and
to, you know,
I think
really.
it's such a great example that teachers and students all came together to make
Yes.
this a success.
Yes, success.
And
Uh, yeah,
thank
children,
you so
you,
much.
I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
students, you will be surprised to know that even our principal had got so, I mean, so good, so enthused about this entire thing. I think he used to call us so many times, frequently, like, what is happening? I want the feedback. What did the students say? Did they like the sessions?
Yeah.
Did you
Yes, and
that?
with every, I mean, thing that sir gave us in.
After every session, he used to ask. So you can now, I mean, if the head of the institution who has got so much of work, I mean, so many different aspects to look into, if he goes and asks every time, you can understand how much of, you know, I mean, like all of us were really looking forward to it. It was really nice.
Absolutely, ma'am. It was a
Yes,
pleasure to conduct
pleasure
this, and we are very happy that the students and the
a lot.
faculty members, both ways, have had such a
Yes, I
fruitful, meaningful interaction,
and
ma'am.
Mehak ma'am and Jyoti
Yes,
ma'am and Archana ma'am, Archana Mishra ma'am and Devangi Chachar ma'am because and also all our ex students.
all the ex students, ma'am, ex students, current students,
Joy.
so many teachers from different departments who took the offline
Departments, yes.
sessions,
Yes, all of
And the
all
them.
kind
the
of,
all the
yes,
faculty members who stepped in for coordination,
Absolutely.
the
I mean,
vice principals.
yes. You see, so students, you see, I mean, how we are also learning teamwork, team spirit, respect, empathy, understanding the value of time. So, I mean, I think we also should thank them for teaching us so many different things.
Absolutely, ma'am.
yes,
What
really
Absolutely.
love.
had you not been there, we would not. So,
Yes,
True,
truly.
ma'am.
very nice. Thank you. I think both of us deserve to thank. I mean, should thank each other for
Yes.
Definitely.
both ways. I feel.
True, ma'am.
Yes, true, true, correct.
So can we share the email ID of our SIP with them so that if they feel like
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
can give us they can mail us their feedback in the form
So, ma'am, what we will do is the message that will send out the links to all. We will add in the email ID on
Email
that
also to
message.
that, ma'am, and send it
So
to them
all
as a
the
message.
information that they would need regarding the SIP would be drafted in one message,
One
and then
message.
they have one thing to access.
We'll
so
share it with all of them.
they can also write
Yeah.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I mean what they felt I mean
Any
Any
yes,
observations?
and
experience? Yes,
friends, you can. It's not necessary that you always go on praising us. I mean,
Yeah.
praising us means we don't have anything to improve upon, which is not
We need
possible.
constructive
Thank
criticism.
God, we are
yes,
human beings. So somewhere down the line, we may not have been able to achieve 100%. So you should always tell us how we can improve us, how this program could have been conducted better. And
True.
don't say the offline mode because that was not in our hands. We wanted to
Yeah.
do
yes.
it well.
We
We could.
wanted it to be done
Yeah,
offline, but we had
Yeah,
constraints
resort
which made us come to this
with hybrid
solution.
mode.
I agree. So you can please do tell us so that we can incorporate all those things perhaps next year if we still have it, or maybe we can you can give us ideas about how we should do the grand celebration or
Yeah.
the post IP session.
The-
Please do, please. We are waiting for your feedback. Please do write and tell us.
Yes, ma'am. We'll add the email ID to
We'll
the
add
message.
every all the
Yes,
details to
yes,
it, ma'am.
yes, please.
Okay. So, ma'am, on
Okay.
that note, Firdaus ma'am, on that note, I am
Yes,
ending the live broadcast. Students,
yes.
thank you so much once again for joining in, and we'll see you now in college for our regular sessions.
Thanks a lot, students. Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot
ma'am.
once
Thanks,
again.
Firdaus.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you.